What's up, friend? Welcome back to my channel. We are back in front of the blue couch. Listen, this is the place with the best lighting in here, okay? I can't stop. We are continuing the manifesting train. Honestly, I never want to stop. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Today we're going to talk about how I manifested this house and how you can manifest your dream home too. I'm going to tell you the whole story of how this house came about because it is a prime example of the universe just pulling the strings and putting together. It's really crazy and I'm really excited to tell you all about it. If you haven't seen Manifesting 101, that goes over the baseline, the basics of manifesting and the law of attraction. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. It's a good place to start. That's like the GE, and now we're doing the classes for your major, getting in the weeds a little bit. And of course, as always, I will have the timestamps in the description so you can skip around, listen to the story, come back to the beginning. Whatever you want to do, girl, do you. Okay. Let's get into it. Before you even start looking for your dream home, I want to drill into you this concept of divine timing because it is something that I have always struggled with. I am an impatient ass person, so I get it. Hard to wait for good things to happen. But there are things in the works that you might not even understand right now. The universe is pulling strings together in such a way that sometimes you're like, wait, I've been manifesting this for like a year. Why hasn't this happened yet? I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And the universe is like, girl, you're not ready. You're not ready, and I know that, so I'm gonna hold this until you are. Sometimes you need to enter a new headspace or learn certain lessons before you get what you're manifesting. So just trust that everything is happening on a timeline that makes perfect sense in the grand scheme of things, even if you don't understand it right now. If you would have asked me if I would have been living in this house or even wanted it like 3 years ago, I would be very confused. I was a city girl. I was one of those girls that lived in like the huge apartment complexes. Like, I could never have imagined being a suburban girly in a house 3 years ago. If I would have gotten this house back then, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a wrap. I needed to enter the mindset of even wanting this in order to get it. And that took time. That took meeting Will. That took a global pandemic happening. Like, a lot of things have gone down in the last 3 years that have put me in the position to even want this and understand that this is where I'm supposed to be. So just trust in divine timing. Don't rush it. Try your best to be patient. Everything happens when it's supposed to. The fun part of manifesting is getting inspired, getting your inspo together. I really loved this aspect of even looking for this house because I was all over Pinterest. I was literally walking around neighborhoods taking pictures of other people's houses. Is that bad? I thought of including a picture that I took of one of the houses that I saw in the neighborhood because it actually perfectly matches this one. And then I was like, someone lives there. It's a little weird. But just trust me, okay? I took lots of pictures. This would also be a great time to do some vision boarding. I'm not really a vision board person. If anything, I'll just do like a board on Pinterest. But vision boards are a really great way to get inspiration for just like the surface level visual things that you want your dream home to have. Something that I really wanted a Spanish style house with Spanish tile and just that beautiful kind of like old Los Angeles charm. One of my favorite movies is Double Indemnity. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that, but the house in Double Indemnity is like my dream house. It is gorgeous. It's like the perfect Spanish style house. So that's kind of what I had in mind when I was kind of building up the visual for what I wanted. So get inspired. It's fun. It's fun to get on Pinterest and look at houses and look at decor. I still do it. But after you do that, you're gonna wanna go a little bit deeper. And this is something that I've learned is very necessary for manifesting. You have to get into the root of your desires to get really, really clear and specific on what it is you actually want. So ask yourself why you want this house or apartment or whatever. Like, why do you wanna move? What is it that's making you even want this? What sounds appealing about this? Are you trying to escape a current living situation where you don't have any peace? Do you want the pride and accomplishment that comes with having your dream home? Do you want an opportunity to be creative and decorate a space that's fully yours? Getting to the root of your desires always gives you more clarity on what you're actually looking for. After years of living in Los Angeles, I wanted security, I wanted to feel safe, and I wanted peace, honestly. I wanted peace. I used to live in West Hollywood, and it was the least peaceful place I had ever lived. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that my car had gotten vandalized. I was constantly getting citizen alerts literally from right outside my apartment building that people were stabbing each other. It was too much for me, y'all. It got to be too much. So while I had that visual idea of, okay, I want a Spanish house with Spanish tile, that old Double Indemnity look, I also had a deep understanding of what it was that I was actually looking for on a less shallow level. There are Spanish houses in West Hollywood, but I would have still felt unsafe. I would have had no peace, no security, and just, it wouldn't have been good, right? So it really helps to just get to the root of it, figure out what you truly want, and then look from there. For my last point, I want to tell my story of how we ended up in this house because it is crazy. So Will and I were both ready to get out of the city. We wanted to go somewhere chill and safe. Personally, I was looking forward to living somewhere with parking. If you know, you know. And we wanted a place that had plenty of space because we both work from home. He's a photographer, he needs like a studio space. We just needed a lot more space than like his studio apartment and my 1-bedroom apartment. And so we decided to move in together. We were coming up on the end of both of our leases, and it was really hard to find a house, like really hard. Because I wanted to walk in a place and instantly love it and know that it was right. And I was walking to these places and I was like, this one isn't sitting right with my spirit. And I know that there's compromise in any living situation that you will ever move into. Trust me, there is compromise happening in this house right now. But I just wanted that intuitive feeling that it was right, and I just wasn't getting it. So we're getting closer and closer to our leases running out, and we go see this house, and it was smaller than we were hoping for. It was a little raggedy, but the price was good. It was in a good location that was really safe, but also had like a lot of stuff around it for us to do. Specifically, there was a Shake Shack, and I was fully in my Shake Shack era at the time, so I was like, oh my god, there's a Shake Shack like within walking distance. It also had a really cute backyard. It also wasn't the Spanish style house that I had been looking for. It was a Craftsman. So like I'm a big fan of Craftsmans. We were looking in Pasadena. We live in Pasadena now. Craftsmans are everywhere and they are absolutely gorgeous, but it just wasn't what I had been visualizing. So we had a come to Jesus moment literally in the driveway of the house, and we were like, look, we've been looking for a while, we can't find a house, this one's okay, it's in our price range, like, should we just do it? And so we decided we would put in an application and just call it a day. So later that day we put in the application, and the owners of the house were taking forever to get back to us, like weeks. And even the realtor that had been helping us find these houses was like, yeah, this is really weird. Like usually it just takes a few days. I don't know why they're taking 3 weeks to approve you on the application. And I was feeling a little shaky about it. Like even when I walked into the house, my intuition was just like, this isn't really it. And then with the owners taking forever, I was like, ooh, is this like confirming that this isn't really it? Like what's going on here? So it's been probably 2 or 3 weeks. We're waiting to hear back, and Will gets a random text from a friend saying, hey, there's this house in my family and the people who live there are breaking their lease. So we're trying to rent it out again. I know that you and Bria are looking for a house. Do you want to go see it? And at first I was like, we already have this application in. We're really coming up close. I don't know. Maybe we should just not drive all the way out to Pasadena to look at this house. Honestly, it's a long way from West Hollywood. It's like 45 minutes, okay? But I was like, we already have this application in. I'm sure we'll get this house. So why should we even waste our time driving out to Pasadena and looking? And then I was like, what's the harm? We'll just go see it. It was also a lot more expensive than the house that we had applied for, and we literally could not afford the house. I don't even know why we were looking, girl. It was just something within me that was like, sure, why not? Y'all, we go to this house. I fell madly in love with this house. Like as soon as we pulled up, I was like, I love this house. It was like a Spanish style kind of bungalow vibe. It had a huge yard, these fruit trees, and we're walking in and we're touring the house, and it has this beautiful archway and high ceilings and this Spanish tile on the floor. And I was like, I love this house. I need this house. I need this house. And I was just feeling it. And Will was feeling it too. We were both just like, this is amazing. It's so crazy how different our feelings were with this house than with the other. It was just like night and day. I completely forgot about the other house. I was like, that, this is it right here. We gotta make this happen. So we're worried about the rent, right? So we talked to the owner, and he lowers the rent to align with the house we applied for. Easily. Like, we just asked him and he was like, yeah. In this market, when that happened, I was like, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. It was a done deal. We were like, screw that other house, screw the application, it's taking forever anyway. If we get that house, we'll just tell the owners you took too long, we found another one, sorry, bye. So we signed the lease. I can finally like take an exhale because we have a place to live. We only had, I wanna say like 3 weeks before our leases were up. We'd already put in our notice and everything. And then 2 or 3 days after we signed the lease, we finally hear back from the owners of the original house and they denied our application. It was between us and another couple and they picked the other couple. And I was like, you know what? I see how this all worked out now. Which leads me to my final point, that you need to be open to other possibilities. If I hadn't had an open mind and I had just accepted that house because it was convenient and sort of had what we needed and we needed a place to live, I would have missed out on this one. And we are so happy here. Of course, like, we're renting this house. It's probably not gonna be our forever home or anything like that, but we are so happy here. And I'm so grateful that I was even open to seeing the new house. The way it all worked out is so crazy to think about. It really fell into our lap. Like a random reach out from one of Will's friends, and then the people living here just randomly breaking their lease. It was a couple and they had broken up. Yes, I cleansed the house when we moved in. Don't worry, no bad vibes here, no bad vibes. But them moving out, the owner adjusting the rent, it all just fell into our lap so perfectly. And that is how you know that something is truly meant to be. You don't have to fight, you don't have to work so hard. It just naturally just happens. So be open to the possibilities. Don't get so laser focused on a visual or an idea. Just be open to whatever could come, because you could be missing out on something that's even better than what you have. And this is true for so many different things that you're manifesting. I think I brought it up in Manifesting 101. Like, you could be manifesting a promotion and then you don't get the promotion and you're like, oh, my manifestation didn't happen. And then a new position opens up at your job and it's one that makes you so much more money, it makes you so much more happy. And you're like, thank God I did not get that freaking promotion. Because that's how I am right now. I'm like, thank God we did not get that house. It would have been closer to the Shake Shack. That is true. Now the Shake Shack's like 15 minutes away, which is really hard for me. I actually haven't had Shake Shack in a really long time. But we're in this house, we love it, and I'm so happy that it worked out this way. So to recap, understand that everything happens in divine timing, be patient. Number 2, get a visual, build that vision board, really get specific on the vision of what you see for your dream home. Number 3, go deeper. What is it about this house that makes you want it? What is it about this move that makes you want it? What's the real reason why you want your dream home? And number 4, be open to the possibilities, because anything could happen. Y'all, the universe, she's got so many plans that you don't even know about, that I don't even know about. And that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really enjoying making these videos about the law of attraction and manifesting, and I have so many more to talk about. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you want clarity on or that you want me to cover. I am so happy to keep talking about this until I am blue in the face. Anyway, I will see you guys next week. Thank you again for watching. Deuces.